What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about the Wild Season permit again because we are almost a week into this, right? So a little bit more than a third of the way through this first season with the Wild Pass, and we're at about 3,500 purchasing, exactly 3,510 as of the recording of this video. So, Matt's initial estimate was 20% of the active accounts, which was 75,000. So his estimate was 15,000 out of that. We got 20%, or a little bit more than 20% of that, right? So we're sitting at like 5% of the total estimate, or of the total accounts that we're playing in Wild. And from my perspective, playing in, Champion 3, I have seen SPS rewards go up somewhat significantly, right? I was winning maybe 4 to 5 SPS per battle. Now it's up to 6 to 7. Sometimes it's, a little bit higher or lower depending on the bonuses. But the major thing is that once we complete this season, the pool, which has like a 15-day kind of window that it looks at, will fully be in the new system, right? It'll be fully not looking back at whenever we had 75,000 not daily active accounts, but 75,000 accounts that were active throughout the season. So as I think through where we are at right now with Splinterlands, we've definitely done a lot to crush the bot farms. And I even declared victory on bots a little while ago before this Wild Season passed, but I think this is the final nail in the coffin for many, and maybe they'll come back in some way, shape, or form, but at least they'll be providing value to the ecosystem by having to buy into the pass, burn DEC, or burn vouchers. And ultimately, in my mind, this to me is the best indicator for the health of the game moving forward. Now, that being said, there's a lot of other indicators, so I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or dramatic here, but my point is that this is literally pay to play, right? Not even pay to win, not even free to play. This is literally pay to play. You have all these assets. The biggest complaint against this is that, all right, I've owned these assets for a while. I want to be able to play with them. And now you're forcing me to pay a season pass in order to participate with all of these cards that I've had. And again, I think that's a legitimate concern, even though I agree with the direction that we've gone in terms of having to provide some kind of value over the long run to the ecosystem. And considering that people can pay in vouchers, if you were here since the Untamed beta days, you should have a significant amount of SPS that should be getting you vouchers that should help to cover this. But that aside, I can understand that argument. Meaning, if people are still choosing to pay to play, those are people that actually find value in the ecosystem, whether it's through the game, whether it's through the tokenomics, whether it's through the rewards, whatever the case is. These are people that want to participate. They are opting in with a fee, and at 3,500, that's kind of in line with what we've been saying in the past about, I would always joke that our range of players is anywhere between like 500 to 5,000. We're kind of smack dab in the middle of that when considering what we have in Wild. Now, you could probably add on folks that maybe play only Modern, and we're probably closer to that 5,000 level. But this is where the new baseline is. And I think it's good, right? We had to flush out all of the people who were in all the accounts that were in with the wrong motivations, the wrong incentives. And, again, it's been a long, hard road, but I think Matt and team have done a good job of implementing things over the past, it's taken 2 years. 2 years to really iron out how to get this ecosystem to be something that only the people that want to participate will participate. It's not, you can't come in and leech out of it. You can't come in and do X, Y, Z. And ultimately, that's where we're at. So now we get to build back better. Sorry for the random slogan there, right? But we get to build back better with the team's intention, at least of this entire year, and then of course during the last town hall, to bring in a ton of players who also want to opt into this system, right? Now, granted, new players might come in, they play in Modern, and that's totally fine, right? Because the buy-in for Modern requires you to buy Modern cards, whether that's Rebellion, which helps the team, or it's Chaos Legion, which helps the the Chaos Legion card value that we've seen plummet to pretty much all-time lows at this point. So we want those cards to be available because we want people to come in and buy up SPS or start renting SPS or whatever the case is, just being participants in the economy. If they choose to play in wild, and this is what I'm saying, like it's probably one of the best indicators. It's because we now know, right, how many people are buying this pass on a seasonal basis, how many people are willing to pay to participate. Granted, you could look at buying modern cards as, you know, their fee or their wild or their modern season permit in order to play, but you could buy or rent, and you know the requirements are not as high in modern. I know it's not. It's different than paying $2 a season. They're just different animals altogether. But I just really like seeing the wild season pass working as intended, and now getting a baseline of how many accounts are willing to participate. Now, keep in mind, one thing that I think we should be cognizant of, and I'll close the video out on this. One thing we should be cognizant of is the fact that there might have been a lot of accounts, secondary accounts, that just wanted to test out how many, how the earnings would be overall. So if there is a drop off between this season and next, it's probably just because people thought, hey, let me pay the $2. It wasn't even $2. I think if you paid in vouchers, it was like 80 something cents. So there were folks that probably said, let me just test it out, see how the earnings are, and go from there. And maybe they'll test again next season. Maybe they'll drop off. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lower number in the second or third season before, you know, things start to hopefully shape up. Now, granted, we could be continuing to go down for a while, right? There are definitely folks that are exiting the game, or there will be, you know, bot farms that are selling off assets and deciding that it's just not worth it. And at this point in time, I don't know when, you know, the team has plans of really implementing a strong marketing strategy. But ultimately, that's kind of where I'm at on this whole thing. I think it's one of the best indicators moving forward, and I am very curious to see how this progresses. And now we have very actionable kind of data on who the biggest players are that are willing to buy into the ecosystem. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.